This is an issue that can be solved in our lifetime.
And it's how do we build that momentum that says we can do this.
It's nice to meet you in person.
It's lovely to meet you as well. It's just it's a really significant moment because you and Me Too inspired us to set up Time's Up UK. So you are my inspiration.
Oh, well, that's lovely to hear. There's definitely a pre and post Me Too.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
There's no question about that.
Totally.
It's been 8 years since the hashtag went viral. I think that the progress that's been made in the last 8 years probably would have taken us 20 to 25 years if the hashtag didn't happen.
Totally.
We've seen laws change. We've seen culture shift in significant ways. Literally, when I landed here in London, a young woman stopped me in the airport very excitedly. She said, "Oh my God, I learned about you in high school." She said, "I learned about you in high school and I'm 25 now."
Oh, wow.
And I'm just so excited to meet you in person. But it really changed my life. And that happens often. And I think about a generation of young people, particularly young women, who have grown up having an expectation to be safe.
You're totally right. That Me Too moment empowered so many women to break the silence. And that continues and grows every day. And we know if we break the silence, we can change the world.
Those of us who suffered, we either suffered in silence or we suffered in silos.
Yes.
So we may have talked, but we talked in secret and in whispers and to each other. And so I think what Me Too created was community for these young girls to now say it out loud, say it to each other. And when they say it to each other, then they say it to the world. And so it makes me really proud and really excited to see how emboldened and how powerful so many of our children are.
It reaches around the globe, and what I think has been so powerful about the phrase all in is absolutely trying to ensure that we are working towards enabling women and girls to be safe wherever they may be.
This is the power of us being all in, is because sexual and gender-based violence doesn't discriminate.
No.
And it doesn't skip a beat. If you want people to be fairly employed, then you have to care about sexual and gender-based violence. If you want people to be fed and housed and clothed, if you want us to have less gun violence, anything that people care about, then you also have to care about sexual and gender-based violence and ending it. And so we have to be all in.
I think that it's really important for corporates who have global footprints to be involved and engaged in this conversation too. As you say, it's going to take all of us. So how do we ensure that housing, how do we ensure access to healthcare and education, but also how do we ensure that we enable women to find their voice? And that, I think, is fundamental.
We have been conditioned to believe that this is an insurmountable issue, but it's a lie. But once we flip that lie on its head and let the world know that this is a solvable issue. This is an issue that can be solved in our lifetime.
Yes, it is about how do we change the narrative. Me Too has changed the narrative already, and it's how do we continue to build that momentum and that movement that says we can do this. When I think back on about Me Too, you know, as we all know, there were certain men who held very, very powerful positions, and nobody would have thought they would have fallen, and they did fall, and they will continue to fall.
These men and these bad actors that are falling, to me, is just like pulling the thread, right? It's just the beginning. They're symbolic to me of pulling the thread that opens up the seam of these bigger systems, right? We can't get fooled into believing that these singular men are going to be the end of these huge systems that cause and create the violence. And again, we get lulled into believing like, oh, look, so-and-so bad guy has gone to jail or has lost his job, and then we get comfortable and think, Okay, so we're close. No. We're not close.
We're not close. And it is about the system.
Absolutely.
Is about, the great and wonderful Angela Davis, when she was talking about how do you dismantle racism, she said you take it down brick by brick.
That's right.
And that's what we're absolutely trying to do here. It's how do you tackle the system? And the bad actors, as you say, are emblematic, but actually their removal doesn't resolve this, doesn't change.
I believe that as a survivor that we are architects of possibility. I don't lean into the trauma that it left me. I lean into the wisdom that it left me.
Yeah.
And that wisdom makes me believe that there's something better available to us. These systems that exist want to break us. And so if we lean into the trauma, then we allow it to break us.
I totally.
It's
always about working alongside survivors.
That's right.
The wisdom and the courage of the survivors, what does that tell us about how we break the system?
Yeah.
And it is how we walk in lockstep together.
That's right. It's the only path.
It is, and it's about how do we have those conversations and understand there may be differences at times, but we have to work through those differences because in the end, the vision about where we want to get to, what does future state look like when we've taken down the bricks of this old house? What do we want the new house to look like?
Yeah.
And we can only do that together, right?
I tell people all the time, it's like when you suffer trauma, right? It's like your house burnt down.
Exactly. Yeah.
And people are always worrying about the house. And I'm like, forget about the house. Think about the soil. You still got the land.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But everybody's always crying about the house.
Yeah.
Right? I want my house back. I want my house back. I understand. And I'm going to hold your hands when you say this. Your house is gone.
Yeah.
And the sooner you embrace that and put your hands in the soil, right? Stand in that soil. Feel that and understand that you still have the land.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You still have the land.
Yeah.
Rebuild on the land. But we are so connected to the house and not the land.
I think we should end it there. How could you? I'm going to cry. So much of what you have said then and what you say today makes a huge difference. That's what gives us the courage to go on.
Well, this is why we do the work.
That's why we do the work.
This is why we'll continue to do the work for every milestone birthday. I'm so grateful for you.
Oh, it's so lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
I am going to cry now. Gender-based violence is not inevitable.
And it must end within our lifetime.
We add our voices to this call because silence is no longer an option.
I am all in.
Oh, I believe that.